Holiday season is upon us. Lights, decorations, Christmas trees, caroling, music, great food, and one jolly old elf in red all help make the season merry and bright. Here in Old Town Portsmouth, we know how to do the season right, with special events beginning in mid-November and continuing through New Year's Eve. You want to know more? Then stay tuned. We'll tell you all about it right here, right now on this episode of Portsmouth Now. Welcome to this November-December 2022 episode of Portsmouth Now. I'm your host, Rob Lauer. During the holidays, there's no place in Hampton Roads like beautiful historic Old Town Portsmouth, where the celebrations kick off on Friday evening, November 18th, with the Old Town Holiday Open House and tree lighting. Our first guest today is Nettie Fisher, who tells us more about it. Nettie, welcome back to Portsmouth Now.
Thank you so much, Rob, for having me.
Oh, glad to have you. Listen, so we have this big event that sort of is kicking off the holiday season here in Old Town, and that is the Old Town Open House and tree lighting.
Yes, it is November the 18th from 4 until 8, and it is the Old Town Holiday Open House and Tree Lighting, and it does kick off the holiday season. So we'd like to invite everyone, whether you're from Portsmouth or outside of Portsmouth.
Okay, this is a Friday afternoon, right? Friday afternoon evening?
Yes, it's Friday. It starts at 4 o'clock, and it is located in what we call the Children's Mall area, there by the Children's Museum at the Middle Street Mall. We will have about 20 crafters set up in the mall, starting at 4 o'clock. People can come and shop with the crafters. They can walk up and down the street because our farmers market is sponsoring a holiday decorating window contest.
Okay.
So all of the shops their windows will be decorated. The people can go up and down the street. They can look at the shop windows. Over at Monumental Church, the original nativity scene from Coleman's Nursery will be set up for people to go and look in their chapel, and they'll of course be serving a hot apple cider for people. So if you want to mull up and down the street, you may do that along the High Street corridor, or you can stay at the Crafters Market in the Children's Museum area. We have a big program planned for that evening. The Marines will be sending out 2 Toys for Tots stations, so people are invited to please bring new and unwrapped gifts to give to children. They'll be there at with the Marines. Also, the program, we have the Southside Community Band that will start playing in the Museum Mall area at 5. They'll play for about an hour, and it will be holiday music, and people will be having a wonderful time. We invite people to please come and see all that we have to offer, because the shops will be open till 8 o'clock that night. Now, the program begins at about, I want to say at about 6:30. At 6:30, Father Christmas will come.
Okay.
And Father Christmas will have with him the colonial carolers that will be in costumes. The audience really responds nicely to the colonial carolers. Unfortunately, the Grinch will also arrive sometime thereafter.
Well, he's got to be there.
Well, you know what he's going to try to do. He's just a disruptor. So, the Grinch will be there. After we get rid of the Grinch, because I think it's the Old Town Children's Chorus that will get rid of the Grinch, and they will do their famous rendition of the 12 Days of Christmas, which always receives a big audience participation. So we're looking forward to that. And then at 6:55, the snow will fall, and the Snow Queen arrives. And at 7 o'clock, the Snow Queen lights the Christmas tree.
Oh, wow.
And so it's just, it's a Norman Rockwell Christmas. Yeah. It's just such fun. The snow is falling, the tree is lit, there's music playing, but that is not the end of the event.
Okay.
The event continues because all the shops are open till 8. And then at 7:30, at Trinity Church. And if you've not been in Trinity Church at night, you know what a beautiful historic church that is.
And they've done recent renovations and restorations over the last few years too.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Yes, they did. And at 7:30, they will host the Tidewater Winds. Oh my goodness, the Tidewater Winds.
It's a quintet, a quartet.
Yes, it is. The Woodwinds.
The Woodwinds,
The Woodwinds. And of course, David Keller from the Tidewater Winds will tell you more about that concert. But that will be at 7:30, and it will be a beautiful way to end a lovely event. So
kick off the holidays.
And kick off the holidays. And I will tell you, we'll have somewhere between 500 and 700 people at the tree lighting. And I hope you're going to be there too.
Yes, I am going to be there.
Good.
And I'm bringing somebody. So,
wonderful.
Now, what about this area here? We're in the courtyard of the Art and Cultural Center. Will that be lit up yet? I know Winter Wonderland doesn't open until the next week, but will the courtyard here be decorated?
That is correct, Rob. Winter Wonderland will open in full the following week. But yes, the courtyard will be decorated with the Coleman Nursery outdoor exhibits. And so when you walk up and down the street, you walk by a beautifully lit, decorated Portsmouth Arts and Cultural Center courtyard with the
which is
Coleman,
right across the street from Trinity,
which is right across the street from Trinity. That is correct. And then, if you choose not to walk, the Old Town Shuttle will be running complimentary trips all up and down High Street. So you can get from the 200 block of High Street down to the 600 block of High Street. And if you would like, you can take the Old Town Courtesy Shuttle.
Well, it really, what you're describing sounds like a Hallmark Christmas movie. It really does.
Thank you. We hope we've created one for the people to enjoy.
Well, thank you, and we're all looking forward to it. So be sure to check out the Old Town holiday open house and tree lighting on Friday evening,
November the 18th,
starting at 4?
4, ending at 8.
Ending at 8. Thanks for joining us, Nettie.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you.
Behind me is the Portsmouth Art and Cultural Center, which is housed within the city's historic 1846 courthouse. During the holiday season, this becomes a central gathering place for a couple of reasons. One of those reasons is that every year, from the day after Thanksgiving through New Year's Eve, the Art and Cultural Center has on display Coleman's Winter Wonderland. And just down the street, there are a variety of holiday exhibits and activities taking place at the Children's Museum of Virginia. Our next guest is Erin Colston from the Children's Museum of Virginia, and she'll tell us a little bit about all the holiday exhibits on display at both museums. Erin, welcome back to Portsmouth Now.
Thank you for having me.
And we are inside of a corner of Winter Wonderland.
Absolutely.
So tell us all about this, for those who may not know about it.
Awesome. So Winter Wonderland is the Coleman collection here at the Portsmouth Art and Cultural Center. It opens November 25th and runs through December 31st. It's an opportunity for families to enjoy a little bit of historic Christmas and holiday, as well as just some winter fun. So guests can join us Thursday, Friday, or Saturday from 12 to 8 p.m. or Sunday from 10 a.m. to 5.
Okay, and these were the figurines that were on display at Coleman's Nursery.
Correct.
Almost 60 years ago,
Yes.
like from the mid-60s until they closed in the early 2000s, I believe.
Yes.
Wow, and so City of Portsmouth Museums owns a collection.
We do, yeah. So Mr. Lancaster purchased his first piece in 1966, the Sleeping Santa, which you can still see on display here at the Winter Wonderland exhibit. And then after that, it kind of grew from there into the Winter Wonderland at Coleman's Nursery that most of us remember. In 2003, it had its last year there, and then was subsequently purchased and repaired, and now belongs to the city.
And every year, from the day after Thanksgiving through New Year's Eve,
Yes,
right?
that's correct.
It is on display here on both levels.
Yes, it's a 2-floor exhibit,
Yeah.
and there's a little activity to go along with it, so the kids can find things throughout the exhibit that are always changing.
Okay, and Santa's here often too, isn't he?
Yeah, Santa visits us on Friday and Saturdays, as well as sometimes on Sundays. We also have extra crafts and live music on Saturdays for guests who are here as well.
Now, down the street at the Children's Museum of Virginia, there's also things going on.
Always, we love a little holiday fun.
Yeah, so tell us what's going on there.
Sure, starting right after Thanksgiving, we open up our sock skating upstairs on November 30th. So kids and adults alike can take off their shoes, pull up their socks, and skate around in our little winter wonderland upstairs. There's even a little interactive snowball fight along the wall for them to participate in. In addition to that, we have holiday activities in our craft and STEM studios whenever we're open. We also have some extra holiday hours during winter break for schools. So I'd encourage families to check those out because we're open on Tuesdays those weeks as well as our normal hours. So we'll be available from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Wednesday and Thursday, and those extra Tuesdays. But on Friday and Saturday, we're open from 9 to 6 because sometimes on Friday and Saturday we get a little call from the North Pole.
So now, what is Snow Wonders? Is that what's
That's
going
exactly
on?
what happens at 6 p.m. on Friday and Saturday night. It snows outside the Children's Museum, so you can enjoy the holiday tree
Even
out
if it's
on the
80
mall.
degrees, it snows.
Even if it's 80 degrees, you can play in the snow. We
Wow.
have holiday music and snow at 6 p.m. on Friday and Saturday nights, starting the Friday after Thanksgiving and running until New Year's.
And kids love that, and all the
Absolutely.
adults do too.
Yes,
it's
absolutely.
A lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. You can see the kids out there dancing in the snow and the adults as well.
Okay. Now, speaking of adults,
Sure.
Children's Museum of Virginia, but there are actually, if adults are into certain things like antique toys, antique toy trains, there's a really fantastic whole wing of the museum.
Absolutely. So we have an entire exhibit dedicated to the Lancaster Antique Train and Toy Collection. The collection's about 12,000 pieces. Only about 900 of them are actually on display, but we do rotate things through. And if you're there for the holidays, you'll see our holiday trains and some holiday decorations and our 800 square foot train exhibit.
Well, I love the Children's Museum of Virginia. But my favorite room, and I was not like a toy train addict as a kid at all, but I love the train exhibit room.
It's very cool. Our oldest train actually dates back to 1905.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
So did all these artifacts from like a Victorian, early mid-20th century Christmas?
It's true, and they range from that 1905 time frame up until modern times. We have a ton of trains made out of all kinds of things, painted different colors. There's just a lot to look at. And the coolest part is that the exhibit is the state of Virginia. So you're panning across the state as you walk around and look at things.
Right.
You can find everything from Thomas and his friends, as well as blue angels flying in the sky, and even the Children's Museum and Art and Cultural Center in the exhibit.
It really is an impressive layout.
Yeah, I think so too.
Now ticket-wise, can you buy a ticket to both museums, or just the Children's Museum?
So there's
separate?
it's tickets for both. So you'd purchase your tickets online at childrensmuseumvirginia.com for the Children's Museum, and those are regular rates with our hours. And then there is a ticket for the Winter Wonderland as well. It's $3 a person, and under 2 are free, and you can purchase those tickets online as well.
All right. Well, thank you so much for stopping by or having us invade your Winter Wonderland here.
Absolutely.
For a few
We're glad
minutes.
you got a sneak peek.
We did. And thank you so much for joining us. And be sure to check out Winter Wonderland and also the Children's Museum of Virginia. Another reason to visit the courtyard of the Portsmouth Art and Cultural Center is that every Saturday morning it is the site of the Old Town Farmers Market. Our next guests are the market's directors, Jim and Kathy Cullen. Jim, Kathy, welcome to Portsmouth Now.
Hi.
Hi. So you're here to tell us about the Old Town Farmers Market, which goes on throughout most of the year. I know you take a few.
It is year round, yeah.
Year round, okay. And now, have things changed? I know you've taken over since last year. Carrie Danner retired and you took over. How have things been going this year?
It's really grown. We have capacity for 53 vendors, so every Saturday we have anywhere between 30 and 53 vendors out here a lot. We've heard, I think, 2,000 to 3,000 people come through.
Yeah, it's hard to
It's hard to
estimate.
count,
Yeah,
but
and on first Saturdays we'll usually get up to 3,500 people, but it is hard to count because people are milling all over the place.
and people come down and spend the day there, so I
it's
see them throughout
It's a
the
great
whole
way to spend a Saturday
afternoon.
morning, afternoon, yeah. Now, what type of, for those who haven't been there, what type of vendors do you have here? What's available at the farmers market?
We have 3 produce vendors, a Dexter beef farm, Cornucopia Farms, who sells his beef frozen and grills it also as sandwiches, sausage, breakfast sandwiches. We have Twisted Willow chicken farm, chicken and pork, that right now he's just still selling fresh frozen, but he may be grilling soon. We have assorted baked goods, gourmet pastries.
Well, and there's also the main farmers. I mean, we have Brothers Farm Market.
Yeah. And the seafood, our large seafood, Russell's Seafood.
Yep. The three main, produce folks are Brothers Farm Market, which has, the whole range of vegetables, and then sometimes fruits in season, and Veggie People, and Deer Haven Farms, which are all local. Everything that's coming here is coming within 50 miles. The idea being to reduce the carbon footprint, to reduce the amount of truck time on the road, to make sure that you actually know where your food is. And one of the weird benefits also, because a few of them will carry honey, and there are actually benefits to having honey that is developed locally from an allergen standpoint.
Oh, yeah, because the bees
People,
pollinate from
yeah,
things
exactly. So
growing
if
in
it's
the area.
local, it means that it's helping when you eat this honey. So we'll have people come and seek out local honey, which is pretty interesting as well.
That's cool. That's great. Now, do things change during the holiday season? As Christmas approaches, do you have new vendors, or do vendors start carrying things that are geared towards the holidays?
Well, our hours do change for the winter months. So starting next Saturday, November 5th, we open at 10 a.m. and go till 2 p.m. We have a standby list with certain crafters that do want to jump in at the holiday season. So I'll be sending out emails. I give them at least a day notice if I have openings from our regular vendors. So we'll be cycling in some scarf people and holiday crafters that just want to come for the holiday season. So
So I know you told me also that it has sort of expanded. I know for years it was simply around sort of the two corners of the courtyard here, but you have spread out a little bit.
So we're now on the opposite side of High Street by Trinity and the opposite side of Court by Trinity. So we have 4 streets.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, now you were telling me something that was interesting before we started rolling, that there actually has been a history of a farmer's market here for centuries.
Yes, I spoke with Greg Etroff over at the library, and he helped me look through some old maps, and we've been able to trace the market back to at least a map dated 1750, and he's trying to see if he can go earlier than that. And it's actually been at this intersection or within a block since at least 1750 on the earliest map that we can find. We're hoping to go back even further because I think Alexandria claims to have the oldest in the state, and we're hoping to give them a run for their money. But it's kind of cool, and one of the things that people really enjoy when they come down here, because most farmers markets are set up like in a vacant parking lot or set up in a vacant field or something like that. When people come here, they are literally walking in the footsteps of so many famous people or historic events that have come through. This is the intersection of all of those events here. So, I'll talk to someone standing on this corner and I'll say, do you realize you're leaning on a cannon that was placed here, for whatever historic reason? And they don't, they think it's an old fire hydrant. And then they get really interested in the history. So you can come to the market and do the things you're doing at the market, but then you can, from that, it's a springboard to go to so many other events that are here and other, museums and other cool things that are going on.
Right. I know that the Portsmouth Art and Cultural Center also, they are trying to get some events happening out here, music, entertainment, that sort of things more often on Saturday mornings.
It's been an almost every Saturday this year because of the increase in people coming. They've also been phenomenal partners to have music in the courtyard this Saturday. Well, it started with just, they were doing it on the first Saturday of the month, but honestly, it's expanded to almost every Saturday since the springtime. We've had some sort of music playing here in the courtyard, in addition to other live music buskers playing up and down the street. Since we're covering 4 streets now, there's room to have people spaced out and just filling the area with music, which is nice.
And the courtyard here with these tables and chairs, and really it's almost like an outdoor cafe feeling with the farmer's market, with the historical setting.
Very much so. So the day really starts, at least in season, the day starts with yoga in the courtyard at 8 o'clock in the morning. And people really enjoy doing that. They come out here, they roll out the mats under these old trees, and they have it, that is its own energy, according to the people who do the yoga, it's got its own energy. And so, and it's really nice, and it has a nice little following. And they come out and do their thing, and then around 9 o'clock, when that starts wrapping up, the people with the coffee and the newspapers, or the groups that like to meet, will meet at these very tables and sit around. Sometimes you see people playing chess and stuff like that, and they're just kind of enjoying everything that's going on in the background. The market itself starts at 9 o'clock, again in the summer, 10 o'clock, in the winter. And it's an all-day activity. Like Kathy mentioned, there are people that will come out here and they get to know all the different vendors, and there's a rotation of vendors, so they walk around and chat and talk, and it really is, it's the crossroads of the city, because people come here from all over the city and other cities just to have their social, activity for the day. It's really nice.
It really is. Now, one other thing you were mentioning, there has been a mascot, or a logo rather, of a red truck with cornucopia coming out the back of it that you did some research on. You found that it was just a cartoon, but you wanted to go a little bit deeper and maybe find an actual truck. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so it kind of ties into the history. I just am so amazed by all the history here in Portsmouth. And how do I make a long story as short as possible? We discovered that every year around the holidays, you start seeing these red trucks. Everywhere there's a red truck, red trucks in the movies, red trucks in it's always red trucks. And I wanted to understand the why. And then when we inherited the farmers market, there was this cartoon red truck that was in the logo. So I did some research and found out that the origins of the red truck that everyone knows all across the country, maybe across the world, started right here in Virginia, and it started with farming in Virginia. And it started with a person named McCormick, who created the original farm equipment, the mechanized farm equipment, including combines and tractors, and he created the first farm truck that was intended just for use on farms. And because of problems with his initial paint color, he decided to paint them all bright red so that they could be seen if they crossed the road between fields, and also to be some sort of brand identification, I'm sure. So that paint color, International Red Number 50, which started, at the beginning of the last century, is still the color of every tractor that comes from this company, which is International Harvester. So when I learned about that, and I learned about also in Portsmouth's history, the Churchland High School, one of our local high schools, was named after the truckers. It was about the truck farmers in the periphery of the city who used to bring their things to market down here, many times in those bright red International trucks. So I said, we got to get ourselves a red truck. So we changed the logo a little bit of the market. Most people didn't notice the shift, but it went from being a cartoon truck that somebody had dreamed up to an actual International Harvester red farm truck. And that very farm truck that we were able to find in a barn in North Dakota and have shipped back here, it's up at Johnny's Automotive on High Street, but it's being repaired now. The windshield is going in this week. All the mechanical work is done. I initially was going to have it repainted, but I've decided to leave it with all the original dents and dings and rust, and you can actually see on the door where the farmer's arm is wearing the paint away.
The history of the truck is on the truck.
Leave all of that intact, and we're going to park it right out here at the intersection. So the logo now is the red farm truck. The red farm truck is a real thing, and it's going to be parked right here at the intersection so people driving by can see it. And then, in season, if people want to take pictures in front of that, we'll throw some hay bales in the back. We'll decorate it for each season. If people want to use it to take family photos, we'll throw a tablecloth or whatever you call it in the back, and some pumpkins, and people can get family pictures with it and stuff like that. But I think it's such a cool addition to the history of this area that we want to kind of let that be a gift to the city, to have that thing out there for people to use. We could use it in other events and parades and who knows what. It'll be available for anybody to use as they want.
That's fantastic. Thank you for that gift.
Yeah, it's just a fun thing. Yeah.
Right. And thank you again for coming in and telling us today about the farmers market, for all that you're doing. Thanks for the growth, helping facilitate this growth with the farmers market. And give us the time again on Saturdays.
Saturday, starting November 5th, we start at 10 a.m. and go to 2 p.m.
Okay.
Until April.
Until April. Now, what is the last? Okay.
So we go year round. We go right up until the week before Christmas. So December 17th will be our last year market. Then we start back up again the third weekend in January, so that's January 21st.
Right.
And now's the time to be coming out for, you're gonna get some truly unique Christmas gifts at this market, because ever since A Nightmare on Elm Street, the movie, or no, I'm sorry, A Nightmare
Before Christmas.
Ever since The Nightmare Before Christmas, there's been this sort of marriage of Halloween and Christmas. It becomes this sort of all one season. So we have a lot of our vendors who are side by side selling Halloween stuff and Christmas gifts, and they're unique, handmade. Everything here has got to be handmade, homegrown, handmade, hand created. So you're not going to find something that you'd see in a store here. Right. You're going to find something that the person who's sitting across from you has actually made themselves, and it's going to be a unique gift that you can then give to somebody. We're trying to be unique in that aspect, and let people, in addition to getting your good groceries and your produce, you'll be able to get yourself a unique Christmas present or holiday present for anybody. And depending on what the season is, you'll probably see more and more of that going on.
Well, sounds like a great idea. So be sure to check out the Old Town Farmers Market this December and November, or November, December, for some great gifts, great food too. Some great baked goods.
Absolutely, delicious stuff.
Almost too much.
So check it out every Saturday from 10 until 2.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
What's the holiday season without holiday music? Our next guest is Michael Carey Williams from the Virginia Winds. He's here to tell us about 2 special concerts. One of them will be held here at Trinity Episcopal Church, and the other will be held on Saturday, December 10th at the Old Town Holiday Music Festival. Michael, welcome to Portsmouth Now.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Great to have you. Now, you're part of the Tidewater Winds organization.
That's right. I'm the executive director for Tidewater Winds Concert Band, which is a full 65-piece professional concert band throughout the region of Hampton Roads. And they've been here since 1985 and keep going forward.
That's great.
Yeah.
I recently came to a concert here a few weeks ago.
That's right.
And it was wonderful.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
That was our little big band, which is a huge favorite in the community.
It's fabulous. So I think they did a concert here last a year ago as well.
That's right. And our vocalist soloist was Danielle Roby.
Yep.
So a lot of fun jazz tunes, a little Broadway, and really good.
One of the best things I've seen here. Actually,
oh, really?
Here. Yeah.
Oh, excellent.
Actually. Great. Okay, so now you're going to be here again twice in November, December for the holidays.
That's right.
Okay, you'll be the Old Town Open House and Tree Lighting the night of November 18th. You're going to be performing at Trinity.
That's correct. That's going to be our woodwind quartet. So 4 instruments playing everything from classical to a little bit of jazz and very fun holiday music. So
that's great.
And Maestro Brewington himself will be here with the quartet on that night.
That's great. And then let me see, on December 10th, Saturday, December 10th, that's the big Old Town Holiday Music Festival where we have carolers and musicians all up and down High Street for the day. But you're also doing a special concert that day as well.
We are, and I have to tell you, we are so honored to be a part of that celebration. We were part of it last year as well, and it's really a wonderful tradition for Portsmouth, and we're so happy to be here.
Unique? I mean, it's really fun. It really is fun.
So on that date, we will have the brass quintet on December 10th, 3:30 to 4:30 for a quick 1-hour concert. Holiday music, a lot of fun. You get a little bit more flexibility with the brass quintet, so you have not just the jazz compositions of holiday music, but you have, again, some holiday Broadway and film music and a whole lot of fun, and they love to customize their programs.
Yeah, I mean, you really do customize your programs for the venue that you're playing at.
Oh, absolutely. Our themes. So first of all, we do free concerts every summer, up to 30 or 40 free concerts. And for Portsmouth, what we really had a discussion when we lost Willett Hall, basically we had to figure out, well, how do we maintain a presence and a service to the people of Portsmouth who are our donors and followers and great supporters. So we were lucky to sit down with Audrey Lassiter and Eddie Fisher and the Fine Arts Commission, who funds our work, and really had a depth discussion about, let's put our smaller ensembles in Portsmouth and bring out smaller communities for the enjoyment.
That's great.
It's worked out well.
So I guess I should make this point that the concert on the 18th, November 18th at the Old Town Holiday Open House at Trinity, that is free.
Oh, it is free. Yes,
Yeah.
it's completely sponsored and funded by the Fine Arts Commission of Portsmouth. Sorry, we have similar concerts in Chesapeake, so I apologize for that. But Portsmouth is very supportive of our work, and we receive a grant for that production, as well as funding for the December 10th, which is also free.
And the location for the December 10th, that is at Monumental Methodist Church.
Monumental Methodist. We're really excited to be there. It's going to be a hard day for our quintet. That's also an afternoon after that concert. They have a pre-concert rehearsal, and then they have the concert. So that's going to be at Regent Theater. But so there's a full day of programming here. But that's first. They should get the freshness of the group right here.
Right. And that's a beautiful location as well, because Monumental Methodist Church is it's actually, I think, the oldest Methodist church in southeastern United States.
I understand that.
Yeah, they just celebrated, I think, 250 years, and they were recently renovated, the entire sanctuary.
And the interior is also very conducive to a brass quintet.
Well, they knew how to build buildings for acoustics back then.
Yeah.
All right. So again, the dates are then November 18th, Old Town Holiday Open House at Trinity. And the time for that is?
That should be a 7:30 concert.
7:30
about
concert.
an hour long.
Okay. And then on December 10th, which is the Old Town Music Festival, which runs throughout the day and has music all over Old Town live. But if you want to hear
the brass quintet of Tidewater Winds, we'll start at 3:30 at Monumental.
All right.
And that's going to be great. And we also have our holiday concerts coming up at December 9th at Sandler Center. Again, the 10th.
You play all around
the whole region. We draw everybody from all the communities around us. So we are not a Virginia Beach location. We're not a resident of any particular city. We're the residents of Hampton Roads. Yeah.
If people wanted more information on the Winds, on these 2 days, and everything you have coming up, is there a website that they can go to?
Oh, sure. You can visit www.tidewaterwinds.org. On the homepage, you'll see information about upcoming events, and there's a concert tab. I advise you to check the concert tab. It has all the most recent updates on performances and locations.
All right. Well, thanks so much for joining us today. And be sure to check out the Tidewater Winds at both times that they play on November 18th and December 10th. And remember, the December 10th is also the day of the Old Town Holiday Music Festival with carolers, live music all over Old Town. Be sure to check it out. It's a one-of-a-kind event. Old Town Portsmouth is home to one of the largest collection of historic houses on the East Coast. To stroll down these streets during the holiday season is like walking into an antique Christmas card. And this December, visitors will have a chance to go inside some of those historic homes. Our next guest is Robin Altus, who would tell us about the upcoming Portsmouth Old Town Historic Holiday Home Tour. Robin, welcome back to Portsmouth Now.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
Good to have you. And you're here to tell us about an event that's taking place on Saturday, December 10th, which is the same day as the Old Town Music Festival. Well, we'll have music all over Old Town here. And that is the Old Town Holiday Home Tour.
That's right. Yeah. The Old Town Portsmouth Civic League is bringing back our holiday home tour. We haven't had it in over 5 years. And we are preparing 8 to 10 of our historical houses to be open to the public, where the public can buy a ticket, come in and see the inside, all decorated for Christmas. We will have the Red Lion Park as a market, and we'll have music spread around and cheer, and it's a good way to augment the music fest that's going on at the High Street, and then come down and see our beautiful homes.
Yeah, and the beautiful, I'm just walking down the street at any time of the year. It's like walking into a postcard or an old painting or something because of the homes
Living
themselves.
here, we like to say that we're permanently inside a Hallmark channel, because that's what it feels like most of the time.
It really does. It really does. And even more so at Christmas. It's not that all the homes are decorated with modern lights and things, but a lot of them incorporate some of the old colonial style, decorations and all of that. It really is scenic. So to go inside.
Yeah, so that's a different factor with Holiday Home Tour than the doors, porches, gardens, where you would see the outside of the houses or go through the gardens, but you didn't go inside the home. But in Holiday Home Tour, you can go inside, you can tour the inside of these homes and see all of the beautiful ornamental architecture that's inside these homes. and meet the homeowners, hear their stories, and have some good conversations.
So you actually get to talk to the owners of the home,
Yes,
and they
they
tell
will be
you
there.
how they came to own the homes, and maybe
Yes.
how they've restored it and how they're decorating.
Absolutely, the history of the home, because when you own a home in Old Town, you know all about its history. You learn about its ghosts, you learn about its people that live there in past lives, and it's you're part of the house's story.
Yeah.
So we'd like to pass that along when people come visit our homes.
Yeah. What would you say to people, or to people who have never been to Old Town Portsmouth? You know, there are a lot of folks in Hampton Roads who just have never been to Portsmouth, or
Yeah.
you know, they've driven through on the freeway, but they've never actually stopped off and looked at this neighborhood.
So Old Town Historic District is the largest historical district between Charleston, South Carolina, and Alexandria, Virginia. And it's right here in Hampton Roads.
Yeah.
Most of our homes in Old Town are built between 1800s, 1880. There's a few that are before and after that. And the Historical Commission ensures that we stay historically accurate as much as possible on the exteriors. And the residents here are very proud of the preservation and the historical value of Old Town to our history, American history of the Civil War, the Revolutionary War. We have quite a few sites that are on the Underground Railroad. So we have such a strong contribution to our history here.
Yeah. And a little bit of the modern
And
just
modern
throw by.
as well.
Yeah, I know. I think the oldest house in Old Town, I think, is from 1720, I believe.
That's right, yes.
Yeah. And you mentioned before you started rolling, and I was going to bring this up, that on one of the homes that you on the tour, it once was the home of someone very infamous.
Yes, Benedict Arnold's home is on the tour. So as we know, Benedict Arnold's office was above the coffee shop on High Street,
Right.
but his home was on North Street, the corner of Court and North. So his home is one of the homes on the tour. Another home on the tour is a house that was featured on the last Coastal Virginia magazine.
Oh, wow.
On the cover of that. Some just beautiful homes. Also, the first silversmith of Old Town will be, his house is featured on the tour. And we have an amazing American Gothic style home that's the first year on the Holiday Home Tour this year also. So lots of different architecture, different periods.
And that's what's so unique about Old Town, is that you have homes from so many different historical periods. You have, colonial, federal, Victorian, and even early 20th century. But,
Exactly.
yeah.
And seeing the inside just gives you an opportunity to see that we really do live in these homes, and it's not like Colonial Williamsburg where they're kind of fake homes that people don't actually live in. We live here, and we love to have the opportunity to share that with the public. The other part of the Holiday Home Tour is the market that will be at Red Lion Square. We're hoping to have crafts there. We will have food trucks there. We will have the coffee shop will be having hot, warm drinks and snacks for us. We're looking into getting a horse and carriage. That's nice little Victorian Christmas vibe to it. So we'll have lots of things kind of bring back this Victorian-esque Christmas market area.
That sounds wonderful. So the time is from 1 until 6?
Yes, that's correct. So you can pick up lunch downtown, go the tour, you can pick up dinner afterwards.
So if people are interested in getting tickets for this, where do they go? What do they do to get those?
Tickets go on sale starting November 1st, and they are available on the otpcl.org website. That's the Old Town Portsmouth Civic League website. And when you go to the homepage, you'll see our events on the homepage. You just click on Holiday Home Tour. Tickets are $15. This is a self-guided tour. So unlike Ghost Walk, where there are time segments, this one is a self-guided tour where you get your ticket and a map, and you go on the tour at your leisure.
Okay, and you walk in and meet the owners and see the inside. Great.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for taking your time to come today and
Absolutely.
tell
My
us all
pleasure.
about this. And it just
We're
sounds like a
excited.
wonderful, fantastic event.
It's going to be beautiful. We can't wait.
If you're looking for a unique, fun way to kick off your New Year's Eve, then you'll want to listen to our next guest, Susan Healy, and she's here to tell us about this year's Old Town Scottish Walk. Susan, welcome back to Portsmouth now.
Thank you.
So we're here to talk about the Old Town Scottish Walk, which is, I think, one of the most unique things you can do around here on New Year's Eve.
It truly is. At one time, we were the only place in the United States that held an evening walk like this. It's a tradition in Scotland, Australia, around the world. It is where you go and wish your town good luck in the new year and thank the merchants, which was an ancient tradition in Scotland. And then the bottom line is you all sang Auld Lang Syne together, which is why they do that in New York to this day when the ball drops.
Wow. Yeah. So tell us, for those who know nothing about this,
Yes.
when does it begin? Where does it begin? What does it involve?
Yes. Well, it's a very short walk. This is not a run or competition. It is a slow walk from the corner of Washington and London Street to the waterfront. Children, adults, singles, church groups, scout groups, everyone can come. And we walk down to the waterfront and we have a little reenactment of Portsmouth history from January the 1st or December 31st in history. And then we have singing of Auld Lang Syne. It is free for everyone to participate. Anyone can come. Anyone can be a part of it. It's called a Scottish walk because it is cheap. It's free, and no one has to pay anything to be a part of it. And Scots were traditionally known as being thrifty. So it's a parade you're in.
Okay. So if people come out to this, they can dress up in costumes. And the year I went, there were people in kilts and such. But you said that last year some kids showed up dressed like in colonial clothes.
In colonial, yes. We have also a contingent of people who designed uniforms that were actually worn during Lord Dunmore's encampment in Portsmouth with the Scottish troops. And they have recreated the uniform from pictures. But you can also just dress warmly, put on a scarf and a hat, and
join the parade.
Bring in the new year with a bell. You don't have to be in costume. You can just be who you are.
And again, you don't have to be Scottish.
No, not at all. Not at all.
All right. Now, once this is over, I mean, I know in the past there have been some of the restaurants in down here have had like live music and things like that. But afterwards, people sort of dissipate and go check out the pubs or the taverns or go off to their New Year's Eve parties.
Exactly. It has grown to where we have so many musicians. I've actually had commitments from 3 pipe bands now for this year. And we have so many other local musicians that just walk back up the street. It's about 5:15 in the evening, and you can stop in wherever you want, have something warm to drink, maybe a little something to eat to start off the New Year's. If you're an early bird on New Year's Eve, you can go on home before the festivities start at 9 o'clock. But it's all over before darkness. It's by about sunset is when we finish.
All right. Well, it's a wonderful event. I've gone to it several times. It's unique. There's something else like it around here. And you've been doing this for how many years? You've lost track, I'm sure, because it's been going on for quite a while.
Truly. During COVID, I've kind of lost track. We had been at 25 years, so now I'll say for over 25 years.
Yeah.
So
it's really growing. Last year, what was the attendance last year?
We had, I think the city counted close to 1,800 to 2,000 people that came out to walk as a community.
Yeah. Well,
it's really fun.
Well, it is fun. And thank you for bringing this to Portsmouth 25 plus years ago. Keeping it going.
Yes.
All right. And again, that time is?
We step off at the corner of Washington and London Street at 4:30. And the walk lasts till almost 5 o'clock. It's just a slow walk to the waterfront, small ceremony, and we're done by 5:15.
All right. Well, thanks for doing that. And be sure to check out this year's Old Town Scottish Walk on December 31st at 4:30.
Perfect.
That's it for our show today. If you'd like more information about any of the events seen on today's show, simply log on to www.portsvacation.com and then come to Old Town and share in the holiday cheer. I'm Rob Lauer. From all of us here at Portsmouth Now, we wish you and yours a very happy holiday season and a very happy new year.